Good evening, YouTubes. So, I do a lot of stuff, well, not a lot of stuff on Facebook. I make posts on Facebook about my day. So, what are you laughing at?
Cause your eyes look fucking crooked.
I was doing some stuff.
Not like that. Like the dude from Men in Black. The one that they keep shooting in the head, the one whose eyeballs.
Oh, I got eyes going two different ways.
That's what it looked like.
Anyway, I've done a video in a while on cooking. I had one, I can't even remember what it was. I'm going to have to check my files to see what it is. But I thought I'd do some stories from work. On Facebook, I do stories from work. I'm going to have to create myself a Facebook page so everybody can like it who isn't my friend on Facebook. Let's get to the stories. So, let's start with the first one. I had a guy, came in yesterday. He came in earlier. I thought he was stealing from the store, which he probably was. And that is... there. That's the other thing. Anyway. So he thinks he's cool wearing his damn fedora and his ratty ass clothes. And he's in the bathroom for like 30 minutes. Probably shooting up, doing his meth or whatever the hell. So there's another kid. I'll get to that actually. Well, I'll just say it now. So someone was telling me about him later on after he left. Let me just stay in sequence here. So the guy is in the store for like 30 minutes. He's like in the bathroom for 30 minutes. Then he walks around the store and walks out. That usually is a sign to me that somebody's stealing. You know, they want to scope everything out and figure out who's wearing stuff and they're going to steal. So, I'm like, okay, I'll let it go. So he came in later on that night and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. So, he's walking in. I'm not really paying attention to him. And I see from the corner of my eye something in the basket. He's got a fucking dog. It's like a Pomeranian or some shit. This hardcore wannabe piece of shit thinks that he's all hard and shit. And he's got a damn Pomeranian in his freaking basket.
Hey, he may be from Beverly Hills. They rock hard up in the hills.
Yeah, no. So anyway, you can't have dogs in the store. Grocery stores, you can't have dogs in there. It's a health hazard. Health violation, health hazard. Anyway, so I tell him, hey, you can't have the dog in the store. So he looks at me, and he doesn't say it like as a statement. He says it as a question. He goes, service pet? I was like, okay, dude, no. I said, you can't have the dog in the store. So again, he's like, well, I had it in there yesterday. So I look at him and I'm like, you can't have the dog in the store. How many fucking times do you have to say something to get something through the motherfucker's head? You can't have a dog in the store. So then he wants to throw a fit and he's like, well, I'm not going to spend any of my fucking money here. And he leaves. Whatever, cool. So the other little kid that's with him, he's not a kid, he's probably, high school, maybe a freshman, maybe he's middle school. Anyway, he's going to take the basket and put it back where it's supposed to go. And he's like, just leave it, just leave it, just leave it. So they leave the basket, and then a few seconds later, the kid actually goes back in for the basket. They go around the corner, and I find out why. Well, there was a lady, and she's like watching them, and her eyes get like all big or whatever, and I'm like, okay, whatever, maybe she got, surprised that he was telling me off like when he was walking out the door. No, after he leaves, she comes up to me and she's like mouthing something to me, but she does a terrible job at mouthing stuff.
Oh, I bet not.
And so I'm like, what the hell are you saying? So she comes up to me, she goes, he has a knife. He had a bunch of papers lined up on the basket. I thought it was, so he could prevent the dog if it took a pee or a poop, from going everywhere, which, whatever. But no, it's because he was hiding the knife under there. So she was, like, genuinely scared that he had this knife, and I didn't realize it. Because, like, she's sitting there telling me, and so she tells me he had a knife, and I always carry mine on me. Here's mine. It's always on my side here. So she goes, he has a knife. I'm like, I have one too. But I don't know how big it was. She said it was a big knife. Anyway, so he leaves, done with that. Today, he decides he wants to come in again. And I've already decided I'm just going to have him trespass from the store. When you trespass somebody from the store, they're done. They cannot come back in anymore. I don't want to deal with that. If there's going to be somebody coming in and scaring my customers, I really don't want to have that. So, as soon as I see the kid come in, one of my, the stalker, he tells me that the kid's in there. I'm like, okay, fine, the kid I don't really care about. Not even 30 seconds later, he walks in the door. I'm like, okay, now it's time to do something. Call the police on them. Actually, I'm put on hold because it wasn't an emergency. And when they get to me, I tell them, the situation that had happened the night before, and I tell them that I just don't want them in there. I want them trespass. So they take their sweet time getting there, I understand, they're busy doing other stuff, more important, I guess you could say. So I'm like watching and waiting for the police to come. I'm looking back and forth. He's still walking around the store, probably stealing stuff. And he buys his stuff. He tells something to my cashier. I don't know what he tells her. I have to ask her about that, actually. And then he leaves. I'm like, he's already walking out. They're not here yet. And this guy probably stole something, so he wants to be cocky about it. So he's standing out in the front of the store. I'm like, okay, stay there, stay there, stay there. The police finally show up. They show up on the east side of the building. I direct them to the west side of the building where he's at. And they get it taken care of. They give him trespass. He's gone. That's it for that story. Second story. Tonight, later on in the night,
hey, listen.
I'm sitting there doing my closeout paperwork and everything. And I look and I see a kid with a bucket of ice cream. He walks past my two cashiers and out the door. I'm like, okay, maybe he paid for it, I gotta go check. I can't go tackle somebody based on what I assume. So I go ask them, did you sell a bucket of ice cream to a kid? And they both tell me no. I cannot believe I was so agitated by this. I'm still a little bit agitated by it. I'm so agitated that there's somebody that can just walk by them with items from the store and item from the store, and they don't even pay attention to it. What are you doing? You're supposed to be paying attention to stuff, not sitting there reading a book or magazine or whatever, which actually they weren't doing. They were just fucking dozing out in space or some shit.
They were watching ghost porn.
So I'm like, did he really do that? And I go outside and I'm looking around, and then there's a lady in her car and she's like, oh, there was 3 kids and they had the ice cream and they took off really fast and they dropped it. So I'm like, oh, cool, maybe they dropped it and it's still there. That's what they get. No, they still picked it up and took it. I don't know what happened to them. I'm going to have to look for them later on. I'll get them taken care of too. Let's see, last story of the night. This is fun. I was picking up my sister from work.
Yep.
And, you go, you get a 4-way light, and there's no traffic. I pull up to the light, I wait for it to turn green. It turns green, there's a car coming the other way, and he's in the turning lane on the opposite. So he's trying to...
He got there after the light turned green. So, I'm just putting that out there.
So he decides that, he can still go. Yeah. And so I'm like, no, it's my turn. So I go, and he honks his horn at me. He honks his fucking horn at me because I went when I'm supposed to go and he was supposed to stop. What the fuck is that about? Like, seriously? So I decided to do, actually, this is something I very rarely do. I decided to give him the 1-finger salute. So as I'm driving by and I flip the fool off, and I dare him to come back and turn around and come after me, because at that point I really was not in the fucking mood for this shit. Because he would have had 2 black people beating his ass, and it would have been a fucking hate crime.
Actually, it'd be 1 black person and 1 Mexican, because we are half-breeds.
Shut up. Anyway, that's my stories from work. First one on YouTube. If you like it like this, then I'll continue doing them on here. If not, I'm just going to go back to Facebook. Like I said, I will have to create a page. So if I do continue to do it on Facebook, that I can just do it on there so everybody else can see it, not just my friends. It'll be public domain. That's it. Hope you like the video. Subscribe. Share it with your friends. Like it. Comment on it. Maybe you can tell me about some stories that you had at work that made your day not horrible, but just like kind of frustrated you through the day. You know how it is. There's always some little fuck that's gonna like try to ruin your day, and you know you can't really let it happen. I mean, I kind of hang on to stuff for too long as grudge. You know, like okay, maybe that guy that I got trespassed, it was more of a grudge because he was fucked to me the night before. But it would kind of teach somebody a lesson that if you're gonna be a bitch ass in somebody's store, then there's gonna be consequences to being a bitch ass. You're gonna be treated like a bitch.
Bitch ass. Ain't nobody be saying that word.
I say bitch ass, bitch ass.
Whatever, cocksucker.
Anyway, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share. Hope you enjoy it. I wish you all good night and
Pleasant tomorrow.
Yeah, whatever.
Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Peace out, YouTube, and everybody else
Peace
out
out.
there.
What was this, 1994?
Shut up. Bye.
Bye.